Metcalfe kits, rodent control, and installing the fiddle yard. Hi, welcome back to Halton Warren OO9. I'm Mark. Been a few months since I've done a video. A few reasons for that. One, I've been on holiday, which was thoroughly enjoyable. The other one was work commitments, not so enjoyable. And then family commitments, well, you know what they can be at times. The other thing is the old anxiety disorder kicked in, coshed me down for a few weeks. But as you can see, I've snapped out of that. So hopefully that'll last a bit longer. So what have we been doing? Not a lot as far as the railway's concerned, as I say, I've been a bit down. But one of the things I did do was I had a look at some Metcalfe kits. Not a great fan, or wasn't a great fan of cardboard kits. I think that dates back to the days my dad did me a model railway when I was about 13 or 14. He used some cardboard kits on there, and they always seemed a bit, I don't know, they weren't convincing really. They looked cardboard, they looked what they were. But I've also been watching Julian on Station Road. Now he takes Metcalfe kits, weathers them, kit bashes them, and they come out really well. Quite impressed, so I thought I'd give them a go. The railway as a whole, I've got quite a strong idea of the kind of architecture I want on here. It's got to be Victorian workhouse brick, so why have I gone for stone? There is supposedly a quarry within Halton Warren Estate, so having stone buildings is not too much of a stretch of the imagination. The reason I wanted them as well was they are fairly simple to put together, they're not expensive, and I really wanted them just to see how they were fitting down at Holton St Mary and hiding the reversing loop. So I got myself two. The first one is this one, which is a shop and cafe, tea room if you like. Yeah, I was surprised. They go together really easily. This one took about 6 hours to do. It's very sturdy. I was quite impressed with the strength of it. I think it's come out really well. I'm really pleased with it. So that was one of them. So once I'd done that, I opened up the pack and took out the second one, which is this one, which I think was a townhouse or a corner house. Now when I opened up the packaging and looked at it, I thought, not so keen on this one. And I thought maybe what it was this was an older model, and that the shop was a newer one and the print had been increased, improved. And I wasn't quite sure what it was with this. Anyway, I started putting it together, and as I did so, I was got more and more impressed. Again, it's gone together very well. Again, it took about 6 hours. It's a very sturdy kit. And then when I start looking at it, I realised that maybe the print quality, it wasn't the quality, it's just, that's a very grey stone used in the house. This one's got more yellow, and then the brick at the back is quite faded, so it's old, like the mortar's run and the weather's got to it on itself. But at the end of the day, I'm really pleased with both of them. I think they're going to make a nice addition to the layout. They're certainly going to do the trick what I want down there with hiding the track. So yeah, really pleased. And I might use another Metcalfe kit. I'm not sure where to go. I might just build it for the fun of building. I really enjoyed doing them. Right, what else have I done? As I say, not a lot. Go on. No, I've already stopped the flow now, so. Right. Sorry about that. That was the missus. Anyway, she's gone now, and get back to important things like talking about model railways. What was I saying? Oh yeah, where have I got to? So, not done a lot. Done the Metcalfe kits. Started to do the wiring on the back of the fiddle yard. Got to fit the points in there next. That's one of the main projects to do, otherwise I can't proceed with the helix. Talking of the helix, I've built what has turned out to look more like a rustic coffee table, and that's going to be the base of the helix. It's on little legs as well, so it can move up and down. So yeah, the project today is to get the battening in to support the fiddle yard. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a sort around. You don't need to see that, so I'm going to switch you off for a while. I'll come back shortly and let you see what I'm doing. Bye for now. Okay, welcome back, and this time we're in the shed. So what we've done here so far is we've cleared out all the rubbish from underneath. That rackings thing down there, I used to have some fold-up canvas chairs on that, so I didn't want them sitting on the floor, so I built that little thing. That's going to come out. I've got to build a little stand for this end of the fiddle yard. I did have a leg between the baseboard and the floor, but that was going to get in the way, so I've got to rethink that once the fiddle yard's in place. The helix is going to be this end, so I just need to get that piece of wooden racking out and give the floor a good sweep. Now, while I've been tidying up, a few months ago I said that I had some very nice little plastic sheep up on my scenic level of the railway, so up here where those houses are at the moment. Came down here one day and all I had was lots of bits of grey plastic or whitey grey plastic around. Couldn't work out what had gone on. When I looked at it, I realised it was my sheep, and the mice had got to them. So while I've been cleaning away, down in that bottom right hand corner I found a hole, so I need to block that, and I'm also going to put some live traps out and catch what mice are around and try and find them a new home. While we're in here, the other thing I've done is this end. I did go through about the reversing loop in one of my previous videos, and again that's noted just underneath on the subtitles. So yeah, I've cleared the hillock that was there and I've just got the start track laying now. I've changed my mind on the reversing loop part. I was going to use infrared detectors, but I'm now going for one of the Digitrack's reverse loop with block detection on it. But we'll do that when we actually come to wiring it in and laying the track properly. So, time to get going. I'm going to pull out that rack down there, start doing some woodwork, and when I've made a bit of progress, I'll come back to you. Right, so here you can see what I've done to sit the baseboard on the fiddle yard baseboard. The noggins here are 60mm by 20, might be slightly over engineered, but I get a bit warm down here in the old shed, and wood does move around a bit, so I thought use some nice sturdy big timbers, and it should be okay. As you can see, the baseboard is now sitting on top of that. It's not screwed down because I've got to take it out, and I've still got the point motors to put on underneath. Okay, so before I finished off the woodwork for the fiddle yard to sit on, I wanted to get in place the tray that I was going to put my DigiKeys components on. That was just so I could get underneath fairly comfortably and screw the buttons in place. I've got a bit of an edge to take off there. For some reason I mismeasured that by the look of it. Anyway, here's the tray. It's on slides that are normally used for computer components. I just like the way it hangs there, and I can screw. It's got tags underneath that I can screw into. So this board is actually sitting on the drawer pulls rather than have them screwed in the side. There's a couple of components missing because I'm playing with those upstairs, and I've got to program the odds and ends and bring the software up to date. But there we go. That is so I can pull it out, do my wiring, whatever I need to do, and again without crawling around the floor or trying to get underneath the boards to get to them. So I'm quite pleased the way that's come out. It's a bit rickety, but it's not too bad. They're not designed for that length of drawer to go on. Right, another bit of doodling. So at the moment I've got a 27" by 27", as I called it, rustic coffee table. My helix is going to be 12 inches in radius, and that is going to have 7.5 loops to get it from the fiddle yard up to the scenic board. These sections are each 65mm, which is fine. It does the job, gets me from my fiddle yard up to my scenic level the way I want. The only problem is this equals either 3.7 or 3.4, and I can't remember off the top of my head, %, which I think is going to be too steep for my trains to go up. I'm looking more like 2 to 2.5%. So I still want to keep this measurement the same, 65mm, because that's going to allow my train to be able to go between each section. But I've got to increase the track somehow, the length of the track. So I can either go really short and very steep, which I won't get up, or to bring it up to the same height, I can go long. Increase the length of the track, and that will give me a lesser slope to get up and down. So the two ways of doing that, I can take my 1 foot radius loop and I can increase it, so I get my increased amount of track, which will reduce my slope. The only thing is, my baseboard are like this and I won't be able to get in and out the shed. So what I've got to do is, there's my foot loop, so I've got to extend it that way, so I keep this walkway clear, but I get my increased amount of track to be able to get up my loop or up my helix at a 2 or 2.5. And I think the measurements I've got at the moment probably work out near a 2.5, which I hope will still work. Now that causes me another slight problem, and we'll drop you again and I'll show you. Okay, so this is my rustic coffee table, 27 inches by 27 inches. I've got my 1 foot or 12-inch radius loop on there, and as just scribbled on my piece of paper, I've got to extend it and make it a look elliptical, so it's actually going to encroach on this board. Now hopefully I've measured it so it's not going to come and get in the way of this, otherwise I've got to do a quick think about it. But the uprights, which I'm using studding for to support this end of the helix, are going to have to screw into here, and this is going to have to be fixed down, and I can't do that until I put the point motors in, and then hopefully the point motors won't give out, because then I'm going to have to scrabble underneath to actually get to them. So that's the next plan, is to get this board sorted out. So I've got my 12mm step down, so I can just join my the start of the helix direct level with this board, and then got to build it up. Well then, that's been a productive day. I've got done what I wanted to, so that's good news. More good news for yourselves, that is the fact that my camera came up with an error message saying that the memory card was formatted for a different device and therefore it couldn't record on the camera. So I switched it off, which meant that you missed hours and hours and hours of my not so wonderful carpentry. So you got saved on that one, I think. So anyway, I checked later, the memory card had been recording, so I have got enough clips, as you've seen, to put a video together. So what's next? Mice, I suppose. I've blocked them in. I'm still convinced they're going to come out. They can get through a hole the size of a pencil, and that's slightly smaller than this pen. So they're going to find their way out. So I needed some live traps. The ones I thought I had, can't find, so I've got to go and buy some new ones. Hopefully I'm going to catch the mice. They're going to have a little walk down the road to where there's some old farm buildings, so they'll be nice and cosy. They've got somewhere to live. At the moment it's harvest time, so there's lots of grain, lots of seeds around, so it's party time for mice down the road. Next, for the railway then, fiddle yard. I've got to get the point motors on. Once the point motors are in, got to make sure they work, got to make sure the track works, got to make sure the point works, got to run an engine round there, got to run a train round there, just to make sure there's no problems. Once I know there's no problems, I can secure the baseboard to the framework we've made today. Once that's secured, I can do the rustic coffee table, get that to the right height, get it levelled, get it secure, and then start building the helix, which I have actually start sticking bits together. Looks like some sort of weird boomerang, doesn't it? Anyway, we're not going to that today. That's a totally different video. Once the helix is built, I've then got to start considering what I'm going to do with the scenic baseboards. The one on that side needs to be totally rebuilt, because the way the helix comes up, I can't use the original one. This one here, I quite like the landform on it, so I'm in a bit of a quandary. I've got to change the track, but as I say, I like the landform, so it's whether I try and slice this off and try and build a new baseboard or not, I don't know. This is the last of the original 2 baseboards I built 6 years ago. 6 years ago when I started this project. But a lot of us find that once we start building the railways, we get new ideas, we watch YouTube, we get more ideas, we go to model railway exhibitions and we see stuff we like. I think as our confidence builds as well, we want to develop the railways, and they get very organic, they change and they develop more or less on their own. So that's it. For now, it's all gone very well today. As I say, I'm pleased. I'm going to leave you there. The next video won't be out for about 6 weeks. I've got to find time to start building the helix and doing the other bits that I just was saying about. Can't do it this coming weekend because family commitments. So a week and a half after that I go on holiday for 2 weeks. By the time I come back and then do some work and put video together, yeah, it's going to be 6 weeks. So I hope you can wait. I hope you're really excited to see it. Probably not. Anyway, if you have enjoyed what you've seen, please subscribe. I've got 14 subscribers now, and this is only video number 11, so I'm really chuffed. Thank you very much for those who have subscribed. They obviously think I'm doing something right, so hopefully I am. Anyway, catch you on the next video. Bye for now.